What's up, everybody? Welcome back. My name is D, and you guessed it, we are guiding D light. We're just gonna hit the record button and a bunch of cars want to go by, but typical. Typical. What I wanted to bring your awareness to, something it's been going around collectively for the last, I don't know, month or so. Was really digging into that root, that sacral, and that solar plex, right? The bottom three chakras, the three chakras that only you can control, right? So it's a lot of solar plex, a lot of sacral, right? And we wonder why. Well, why is this happening? You know, we don't quite understand how quantumly we entangle ourselves with, right? So if we're watching something randomly and we enjoy it, we laugh, we put energy into it, we combine quantumly with that action. So that action becomes essentially a quantum entangled part of us, right? So we put our energies out there with all these different fluctuations, thought patterns, ideologies, right? And we forget we need to clear them, right? We forget we're holding that, right? There might have been something we viewed a couple weeks ago, but in the same sense, it's taking a piece of that power, right? So if you're always praising people, uplifting people, and you never uplift yourself, you're giving all that energy away, and there's nothing there that you're empowering yourself, right? So that's when you get the solar plex is weaker, right? So to breathe into that solar plex and understand it's time to get rid of those people in there. It's time to get rid of those thought patterns in there, right? And I'm sure a lot of you guys have been feeling this as well. And then the sacral, right? When we have our power, right? When our solar plex becomes purified, and we remove the entanglements, and we take back our power, right? And all of our power goes to us, flows into the sacral. Well, the sacral is the sacred remembrance, in the way I see it. So your highest point of consciousness elevation frequency is stored in your sacral. That's why when some people go to the sacral, they get an arousement, right? The arousement that's the highest frequency that they've ever felt, right? So they go past arousement, right? To bring that sensation out of the privates and into the heart, right? And expand and elevate your frequency even higher, right? That resets the sacral. And then the root, obviously, it's difficult for some people at this moment in time to have a secure foundation, right? Sam's Club. This is all I got. I don't know if Sam's Club is United States wide, but if you go to Sam's Club, you can bulk buy, right? So if you have the necessary things to get you by for, say, a month or 2 months, that's going to add a lot of clarity to that root chakra because you feel more secure, right? So to have that house, to have certain things in alignment, to have a stock of toilet paper, right? I say it is funny, but it is pretty funny. So to have those is gonna improve your root chakra, right? That security, secure home, secure things inside the home, right? That's really gonna empower you. So pay attention to these bottom three chakras, right? Only you can control them, okay? Your top three chakras are magnificent in ways that you will never even fathom until you really dive in the depths of them, right? But for the sacral clearing and the solar plex, right, understand that there's people that you're giving energy to, right? It could be the person, another example could be a person, maybe you're giving somebody $5 a day or something at the stoplight, right? Well, that person's relying on you, right? So that person, when you give them the $5, that empowerment, that frequency of currency exchange, right? You're giving them a piece, right? And if you're fractalizing yourself out so much and you're never giving back to yourself, then your sacral chakra is weak because you don't understand the I am power, right? So the I am affirmations are very, very important, but in the same sense, an affirmation without an action is just a delusion. So remember that, right? Keep in mind too what's happening here, okay? we're getting called on with these bottom chakras. What are we doing? We're removing we're removing these quantum entanglements and these projections, these thought patterns that are all associated with our mind, our mental body, right? So when we clear these things, what are we allowing? We're allowing an emergence of open space, right? When we clear things, we allow new frequencies to come in and uplift us. You know, just like Mother Gaia here, right? When us beautiful light workers, we stay diligent, right? And we keep clearing, transmutating, and purifying this beautiful earth. It allows more space to become available, right? And when certain amounts of space are clear, then we can bring in higher frequencies to fill the voids, right? So you're never getting to a spot, right? You're always in the progression of becoming. So with that understanding, we're becoming more powerful. We're becoming into our highest divinity, right? And as we do that, we have to allow things that no longer serve us to leave, right? To acknowledge things that take our power and to dismiss them and not give them our power, right? It's very fascinating what happens when you take control of your thoughts and you understand what you're giving energy into. Now, personally, for myself, I still scatter out there a little bit, right? But I have these rituals throughout the week of clearing myself, right? You know, even these car keys, right? You gotta clear your car keys. And the car keys are with you every day, right? So if there's how many good days with you on those car keys, how many bad days with you on those car keys, right? It's just little simple things. If we can clear, we allow a space for more abundance to come into our lives, right? But if we want to just skate around it, ignore the pains, ignore the headaches, the heartaches, right? And we don't dive deep into that, we never really build space. So we're still looking for these highs. We obtain these highs, but then our lows are still there. You know, that's another thing that's been coming up over and over from what I've seen over the last couple of weeks is you got to deal with you. You got to deal with your shiitake, right? And when we think about that, right, it's a beautiful opportunity to improve your baseline, to bring up your floor of elevation so that your lows aren't as low as they normally are, right? And it makes that high higher. So when we open up ourselves, when we free ourselves, when we clear our spaces, this is what we're doing. We're taking back our power. We're unquantumly entangling ourselves from the collective, right? And we're opening ourselves up into a new collective, a higher, more divinity collective, which is more sacred and more respectful. And when we get in that sacred, respectful place, if we respect it ourselves and we grow into it, right? We fully understand it, understand it, work with it, find out how it empowers us, right? Use that new juice, that new power to bring up other voids and cracks that need to be, or rocks, if you will, that need to be turned over so that the critters can be released, right? You gotta think too, some things you hold and you don't even mean to hold it, but you're actually holding it back from other people obtaining it, right? So what I mean by that is there's an outcome you don't want to see, right? You're holding that back because you don't want to see it, but other people are putting it into existence. They want to see it, so there's a force of push-pull, right? So if you come into your power, you dismiss it, you transmutate it, and you move on, and you release it from yourself. You know, it still might be hanging out there, lingering around, but now you've taken power away from it, right? So you've collapsed it, you've condensed it. And if enough people condense that same thought or that ideology, however you want to say it, as soon as that gets to a bare minimum, right, it'll dissolve. And the more we dissolve, obviously, the more we grow, the more empowering things get, the better the life itself can be, right? So keep that in mind, guys. I know it's been a little bit of a struggle for some of you, especially on the lower base chakras, the lower three. But you just got to own those, right? And instead of trying to have so much control into it, allow yourself to know that I'm clearing. Allow yourself to know that you're opening up space for greater things to come into your life. And dismiss it, right? Don't keep playing it over and over your head and trying to take full control, right? Put the intention out there. Now come into the present. Be present and don't let the past or the future distract you, right? Learn from the past, plan for the future, but stay in the present moment, right? When you stay in the present moment, you're more aware and alert of your surroundings and your encounters and your quantum entanglements. The more aware of your surroundings and quantum entanglements, the more you can understand how you meticulously give your power away without even consenting, right? So, think about that. Allow those bottom 3 chakras to heal. Big deep breaths in through the mouth. Pull that I am presence into that solar plex. Empower the body, right? The solar plex is the power unit, right? That powers the engine, the CPU, the communication device, right? The HD vision. So let's keep that in mind, guys. I hope you guys are all doing great and well. As always, if you need any help transmutating, pressing, dequantumizations, healing session, book it. You know, we're here to open and pry open that door a little bit more, right? You know, nothing really sets me apart. The only thing is I saw the potential. I saw the outside. I saw into the field, if you would, right? And I explored it. And I did an exploration, right? And then I come back with gifts, but I also come back with maps and understanding of what things need to happen in order to build stable foundations so that the towers do not fall, right? Like, how do I know? Because I raced up the ladder, right? I went up the ladder so fast that pegs were breaking, and I just kept going, right? And I eventually got to a point where I couldn't go anymore, and it's like I'm hanging on for dear life. And then it's like the top of the ladder like went backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like I lost contact to the structure of source, went backwards, fell all the way to the bottom, right? Some of us have to go through that to fully understand, right? To build that foundation. But coming from someone who has a little bit of experience, right? Let's work on those lows. Let's build that foundation higher, so that way our highs can be even higher. Our understanding of where we give our energy becomes greater, and we can be more of a divine power, living in the now, in the time of the greatest transmutation of this planet has ever seen. So brothers and sisters, stay awesome, stay up, be you, stay true. Till next time, peace.